What's up, everybody? There's a dead guy in the bathroom. My name is Ben. Her name is Tatiana.
And this is I Digress,
A podcast.
where we just talk.
And digress. And digress. And digress. And digress. Digress.
Monster shit.
Monster. Shit, no.
Well, shit. What are we talking about today, Ben?
Well, on season 1, episode 2, we are going to talk about protecting your privacy. We're going to talk about malicious data practices, and we're going to talk about how you can personally take steps to protect your nonsense. Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Big booty cheeks.
Big booty cheeks.
What do you think happens when you tell the government all your secrets online?
You know, I bet they just they're like, oh, this guy's not doing any terrorism. We don't care about him. We're not gonna.
What if I told you? What if I told you?
What if you told me? What are you gonna tell me? I don't
that
take
they
feedback.
steal your shit. That you give that shit to them all the time.
Yeah, but I'm not doing anything wrong.
But do you know what they can do with that? They can get into your bank accounts.
They wouldn't do that.
They would.
I think I watch my bank account from an app on my phone.
What if they get into your apps on your phone?
They wouldn't do that.
Well, you gave them that information.
Yeah, but no, I didn't.
But you said you had the app on your phone.
Yeah, I just downloaded it.
Well, is your phone protected?
I have a case on it, if that's what you're asking.
No, I mean, is your data protected on your phone?
I mean, I'm pretty careful about who I let near my phone. I try to keep it on me, so I think I'm good.
This man is illiterate.
What? What?
You're illiterate. Do you know how to read?
No, but I definitely don't litter. This is a podcast / sketch comedy show / oh yeah, that's that little thing. That's the other part. Like, I don't really have a word that really sums it up well, but you saw the expression on my face, kind of a blank look of staring into the abyss.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ. That's a good way to put it, but I don't think you're supposed to say that. I think there's specific rules prohibiting it, but it's
I'm
okay.
not a Christian, so it doesn't count.
We'll allow it for academic purposes so people can study it in the future.
Yes.
Figure out what was wrong with us.
This is for educational purposes only, but we are not licensed professionals, so do not take our advice legally.
I'm licensed in a few things. How about you? I have a driver's license.
I do have a driver's license.
I do drive at my job in a work vehicle.
I am CPR certified, so I can save your life. And first aid.
We're basically like doctors, except for we're not doctors.
I mean,
don't take anything we say too seriously.
I did take CNA training. That was pretty legit.
Yes. This is more like a guide of things to Google. Anyway, what are we talking about today?
We're going to be talking about protecting your privacy, malicious data practices, and how to stay safe on the internet, because they really be after your information nowadays, and unfortunately, a lot of people really do be giving out for free.
That's crazy. I mean, I only take nudes with Polaroid, so I think I'm probably safe.
Well, not just that, but just your precious data information, like your address, your email, your phone number. Those are important to keep safe. So we're going to talk about ways we can keep them safe.
Yeah,
We're also going to talk about...
I don't have any money, dude.
We're also going to be talking about the different types of ways people and corporations use this against us. Different types of practices they use to get our data.
Different practice? They practice doing this? Are they good at it?
Yeah.
What kind of... I don't know. Okay, so, what are some of the things that I should be watching out for? I don't really, I don't really post anything online. I don't shitpost on Maine. So what should I be watching out for here? I don't think they care.
Targeted advertising.
What?
Targeted advertising. Do you know what it is? You should be looking out for it. Do you know what it is? when companies will pay other people to put out an ad to a certain group of people in order to get them to like either buy a product or give them certain information or persuade them to think in a certain way, even politically, like some crazy shit. You ever see that shit? Ever heard that?
Targeted advertising?
Yeah.
You mean like the use of personal data for like highly targeted advertisements?
Yes. You know what that is, right? Steam rolling.
Das ist vodka.
Oh, these Russian people do that.
Did you just accuse me of being a Russian?
Are you a spy?
Niet. I mean, no.
Yet.
Hi, Bryce.
He's reappeared.
From the dead, he has risen. It's the Lord
Bryce
and
has
Savior.
risen.
Easter.
It's a beautiful day in an undisclosed location. We talk about things, and we're not really qualified to talk about them, but we don't care.
We're going to talk about him.
Yeah, we're going to talk about them. And if we say something and realize we probably shouldn't have said it, then we digress. That's basically what this show's about. So, you said something earlier about like them selling my data to third parties without my consent or knowledge. Tell me more about that.
So basically, when you like go and do these little quizzes or you fill out information to like sign up for like social media profiles, how many of you actually sit there and read the terms and conditions and the privacy notice that's within them? A lot of them say they can sell your data.
Now, why would I read that? Like, it has like a little like checkbox right on the front page of it, and you can just like click it and like hurry up and download the app. Like, I already have to wait for the app to download. Why am I gonna like sit around and wait for like to read all through all these things? I don't even know if I can read anymore. I just watch videos. This is. Can we talk about like something else? This is boring.
You know what's boring?
What? What's boring?
Not having no money because you signed up for the wrong app, and now they have the hackers have all your bank account information. Now you're broke, and all you do is sit on the street.
I'm already broke. Moving on.
Whoop.
There's been a lot of talk recently. I don't know if you noticed, like about China and stuff. Like,
Really?
so yeah.
Well, we talk about China a lot.
Yeah, we talk about China, and we we really like to analyze China's like socioeconomic structure and criticize it openly and like almost make fun of it. Like for example, did you know like in China they have like a social credit system where they like
What?
they collect like information, like biased information about people and like give priority to people who like have clean records and stuff versus those who
No
like
fucking way.
remember how your teachers used to
Like, how
tell
do they
you,
do that? Like the same way I was talking about earlier? It's like,
No.
like someone getting the data from third parties, or
Well, think about it like this. Like you remember how the teacher used to tell you, "Oh, that's going on your permanent record," like sarcastically.
yeah, I remember that shit.
Yeah, that's real now. Like that's literally how it works. Like you have a permanent
shit.
record. Like people with money and power, like swapping it behind closed doors at will, and like all that kind of stuff, and you have no control over what they do with it. It's pretty cool.
I love it here.
Yeah. Oh, in China, right?
Mm.
Weren't we talking about China? Oh wait,
Yeah.
no, that's here too. Like the credit scoring system.
No way. How do they do it here?
There's like, oh, I'm sure the government like carefully like only looks at things that have been proven in court and like goes through official legal channels to build a profile about you and your that's what's on your official record and stuff is just like your tax documents and stuff.
So, like, how does that affect like different parts of my life, though?
Oh, well, the fun part is like on the back end of it, like financial institutions, banks and credit unions and stuff can use your personal data with their own, software to determine your eligibility for things like, loans. They can use it as to weight your credit score. against you based on certain factors and things and otherwise discriminate against you in ways that you can't even tell because it's written into code somewhere and you never get to see it.
That's fucking insane.
Mm-hmm.
They can just like take all my information and be like, yeah, you don't get this.
Yeah, and they can also train AI to do that, and they can program bias inherently into the AI and use it. Like you know how they do that for job applications now, where they're all the resumes are just digital and they're read by AIs to determine the most eligible candidates, and then businesses can
Yeah.
pay to select the most eligible candidates for their position.
Literally, like, currently looking for a job, and like when you go to fill out job applications now, you fill out like quizzes and stuff for like your personality and like your work style and stuff. So that like those AIs like you were talking about could just like simply like filter through all of your shit. And in any information that you fill out on them will be also run through filters on like employers like AIs. And the thing is like all these employers, they have different AIs. They don't all have the same AI.
Yeah,
I mean,
they're all custom built like on their own infrastructure, so they can just like some guy at one company, you know, could potentially be biased toward or against one group of individuals and prioritize them in the system that way, just because they believe that's what's right. And a computer just does what it's told, just like a gun. So, you know, I didn't mean to do that. We digress from that point.
I digress.
Yes. I digress, she digresses, we digresses. Digress. But yeah, so it creates a huge potential for discrimination against certain groups based on like race, socioeconomic background, or any other factors that any guy can think of to program into the system pretty easily, like copy and paste in there. So that's pretty scary. Yeah. Anyway, moving on.
Anyways, I digress.
Me too. It's a good idea, digressing like that. Did you know they can track your like movements, your behavior, and who you're near, and build like maps of like your daily life, and you know, paint pictures of it using software?
That is absolutely fucking terrifying.
Yeah. So just like you know, normal government basic invasion of privacy, violation of civil liberties. Except now the corporations are the ones building the infrastructure because the government has, you know, turned it over to their hands because it's easier on their part. So now just regular guys have access to tools like this and can do whatever they want with it just because of the fortunate position that they find themselves in life.
That is terrifying.
Yeah.
What are some ways I can protect myself against that?
You know, what you can do is like use things like proxy servers to, you know, disguise your location and like make sure that you don't give apps permission that they absolutely don't need to, you know, perform whatever function it is that the app does. And then if there are apps that have like invasive functions or algorithms, you could also just elect not to use apps like that. And just
that is a good choice. That is a good choice.
And if you know what you're doing, you can also just like use open source software that allows you to look at all the code and like see what's in there. But not everyone can do that. So
not everybody has the big brain for it.
Yeah,
I don't think I have the big brain for it.
So basically, if you want to do that, you know, more simply, just don't give away information that you don't need to. Don't share anything online that you wouldn't tell someone who wants to do harm to you, is all I can say. Don't share anything online that you wouldn't want your worst enemy to see, because they could see it. It's online. Like, anyone could see it.
You don't want anybody to use that kind of stuff against you.
Nope, not at all.
I digress.
We have digresses too. So, manipulating political opinion has been like a hot topic lately. Everyone's trying to polarize someone in one direction or another to the extreme end so that they can, you know, achieve some utopian vision for the future or some goal that's, you know, otherwise unachievable in their eyes. And so this has led to, you know, programmers starting to develop personalized content to influence people's opinions based on their individual like likes and dislikes that are collected on all of those software apps that we discussed earlier. A hot button topic recently. Have you heard anything about, you know, people influencing elections or anything like that?
I have. We can take our precious Donald Trump, for example.
Mhm.
I mean, but Donald Trump, there's a lot of rumors saying that he rigged the election.
Yeah, there's a lot of rumors saying that every side rigged the election, depending on who you ask, and that's a scary thing.
Literally, because it's a very real possibility that it could have been rigged on both sides.
Yeah, it's gotten to the point where the media manipulation is so bad that like any self-respecting person just does not. You can't even commit to a news network or think that one source is good at all because they all have a different agenda.
Exactly.
So we're almost returning to like the medieval times, like the Dark Ages, like when word of mouth was the best source of information, and like
word of mouth was like playing telephone.
Yeah, and we're like regressing to oral history or something, but also digital content and like specifically personalized content that's designed to influence people one way or the other. They can influence your opinions, your beliefs, or your political views.
Think about YouTube ads when like elections are coming up. Like
yes,
you see so many, and they're targeted based on your location.
That's what you see, and then in the back end you have the algorithm that feeds you content based on what it thinks you'll like and pays attention to that so that it can get you to watch more ads and get more time in your brain. And that's what the corporations are after. That's why there's so many things offering free this and free that. And just remember, if anything's free, you're the product.
Yep.
Humans are cattle.
And we're here to get slaughtered.
Yes, indeed.
The government is selling our organs.
Mm-hmm. Basically, we all live in an echo chamber. The democratic process has completely fallen apart due to greed and general ignorance. And here's a great example. Facebook's Cambridge Analytica data leak is like so terrible that, I don't even want to get into that. But if you want to know more about that, look up Cambridge Analytica and there's even a well-made documentary about it. It's great. I digress too. There's also the risk of identity theft. Like people can steal your data. Everyone knows about scammers. If you get caught by a phishing attempt in today's day and age,
I'm gonna just assume you're old or possibly mentally not there.
When it comes to identity theft and fraud, like people laugh about it now and they think that they can't get their identity stolen.
But it is literally so fucking easy.
Yeah, that's why all these corporations make you do that stupid thing, two-factor authentication, where, if you don't have like another way to verify that it's you, they lock you out of your own account, and it's kind of annoying, but that really does keep you safe, and that's probably something you should have, because otherwise all they have to do is guess the right password and they're into your account, and they can have a super fast computer do that for them. So.
Yep. And
yes,
that's some crazy shit. I digress. Cyber criminals,
it depends on which ones. Like the ones that are in third world countries and send broken English rescue me letters, or like the ones that actually manage to breach huge corporations and steal people's data and actually profit from it without getting caught, like those kind of ones.
The big ones.
Okay, so like the big ones, you kind of have to watch out. Like in today's day and age, if you don't have two-factor authentication, you probably deserve to get hacked at this point. Even though it sucks and sometimes you end up stuck out of your account for a while, you definitely want that enabled for sure. And also, it's really important for corporations to make more robust data protection measures, and for the government to require corporate transparency on exactly what they're doing with the data. That's gonna happen.
Literally.
That's definitely gonna happen. Don't worry. Keep going. Get those stock prices up, boy. Nothing can go wrong. Keep getting them up. Insider trade. Yes.
Insider trade.
If you have a smooth brain like myself, it can be hard to keep track of stuff, right?
Yes.
So that's why you use a password manager.
So can you explain to me what a password manager does?
So it allows you to create passwords that are unique and complex and the kind of stuff you would never remember, to prevent people that you don't want to from getting into your account. And like that way there's nothing that people can guess, like your mother's maiden name or your sister's birthday or the name of your first pet or anything. They can help you generate the password and store it, and then you can like set up two-factor authentication to get into that for all of your things across everything. So that's kind of nice.
You know what I also use?
What's that?
Hide my email. I hide my email from different corporations because it's an option on iPhone. So you can it'll create like a randomly generated email. So only that place can send you emails.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, so they can't sell your email to a third party. It's pretty nice.
That's a good feature. You should always check your privacy settings because there's stuff in there that you wouldn't believe. Just like if you sign up for something new, check your privacy settings. Just give it a quick glance. If you don't see anything, fine, ignore it. But if you do see something, maybe check over into that.
Yeah. Be mindful.
Mm-hmm.
Otherwise, these motherfuckers are gonna take all your shit.
All of your shit.
Updating your software. You know why it's important, Ben?
I kind of like the way the old one looks, so I try to keep that. If it works. If it works, why would I update it?
Well, here's the thing. When you update your software, it also installs the latest security that the program has put up in its software. So if you don't have that, you're more prone and vulnerable to getting hacked and your information getting leaked.
Oh, so they put stuff to protect you from the latest viruses that the guys are coming out with in the new updates?
Yeah, that's exactly what they're doing, dude. And that's why it's important to keep your software updated.
Yeah.
If you don't, then you might get hit with a virus that it's the equivalent of not getting vaccinated.
Ooh. Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
So you have to vaccinate the computers so often so they can keep up their little computer immune systems?
Yes, pretty much.
So to bad bugs and viruses?
Well, at least good companies will install new privacy and security systems with updates and software.
Indeed they will.
Indeed
I would hope any good company would do such.
Exactly. That's why it's important not to use any shady companies.
Yes. Or big companies also sometimes like to just make their operating systems or, different things huge and bloated. And if you have that problem, consider switching to Linux or something that's open source. It's a little bit harder, but it can bring some life back to old hardware. And you can find, things that update regularly just like anything else because people work on it as a community.
God bless.
Gobbles. Open source. If you don't know what that means, it means the source code is on the internet for anyone to download or look at or even contribute to and develop. You can actually help. They have files right in the code that have problems that are listed that anyone and their grandma can just go on there and that knows how to code can go on there.
They can go on there and fix it, and it helped the community be better.
And if you don't know how to code, consider learning.
It's very useful information.
If there's anything you don't want anyone to see that you'd like to store on a digital device, you should definitely consider encrypting it. There are usually functionalities for this built into your specific device and its operating system, or you can download external ones, like Signal, which is open source.
Okay.
That's pretty cool. It's an end-to-end encrypted messaging platform where you can communicate securely with people. So that's pretty cool.
That's pretty nice.
Yeah, WhatsApp also is encrypted.
WhatsApp
so that's pretty
is
cool.
a really nice one,
Yeah.
but sketchy stuff really does be going on WhatsApp.
Yeah.
So maybe not use that one.
Yeah, and if you want to encrypt your own stuff, you can use something to encrypt your drive like Veracrypt, which is also open source, like everything else that I suggest because, yes.
Open source is goated.
Goated indeed. It's really hard to keep up on, current events without being lied to, but see if you can keep up with, what's going on with privacy laws and things like that, because, there could be some scary things coming out soon. Even if they're not coming, it's good to know what to look out for, and, anything that's trying to take knowledge away from people that's not necessarily harmful is kind of suspicious, because you need to know.
Always.
Yeah, it's terrible. And, yeah.
Taking away knowledge is terrifying.
Yeah.
You ever read Fahrenheit 451?
I have read Fahrenheit 451. That's one of my favorite books. I like anything dystopian, and then now it's great because I just don't even have to read anymore. I can
You
just
could just look
outside.
outside.
It's
You
so
just look
great.
outside. The
Oh
world's
my
just so big.
gosh.
The way people will like censor books and stuff.
Mhm.
That's crazy.
Oh.
Banned books.
Banned books. I love banned books because that is like that is going to extend to the internet, and then people will care because like no one reads books anymore, so then no one's
Exactly.
too worried, which
Exactly.
is like
But once it hits the internet, like
people are
like
gonna
it's
be
already
scared.
starting to happen.
It
Think about
is.
it. Like TikTok will be one of the first ever banned apps.
Yep. And indeed, that is true.
And that is indeed true.
Mhm.
I digress.
It's really important to keep yourself up to date on like the newest, cybersecurity news and stuff because you need to know exactly what legislation is going on. So make sure you watch
Exactly.
out for that.
What rules, what laws are being in place?
Mm-hmm.
Because if you do not know what information and rights you will be losing in this like situation. Like it's some
Mhm.
crazy shit.
Mhm.
So make sure you always do regular data backups and storage, and use secure storage
Mhm.
options because you never know what's going to happen to your information, and you want to at least have it at least another copy somewhere safe.
Yeah.
So that in case like somebody gets into your computer and you say you get a virus on your computer, if you don't have like your information stored on like a cloud or something,
Mhm.
you could lose everything and you'll
Mhm.
never see that shit again. What's your opinion on that?
Yeah, I think like regular data backups and storage are definitely like something you should look into because that way, if you have your information in more than one place, no one can, take complete control of your account and lock you out of precious things that you don't want to lose. Like even Snapchat shuts down people's accounts. So you want to have your stuff that you have saved in your stuff on Snapchat backed up elsewhere. Like anything, like you can use cloud storage for this if you don't have like physical hard drives or don't want to mess with that. But you can also do both and do whatever you want. But
Some
I
good
digress.
ones I recommend: Dropbox,
Google Drive.
Google Drive.
Even though Google does harvest your data, they're on the hot seat, so they can't really do too much.
I digress.
I digress.